Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Rule 34 podcast. I'm your host, Jack, joined by my fellow co-host,
Dominic C59580 at gmail.com.
Sure. So, it's been a while since we've last recorded, the two of us.
It has been. It's been more than 2 weeks.
We did plan to record last week, but something came up on my end, so I wasn't able to record that day. I wasn't even able to go to school that day. But we're here now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like that.
And the week before that, it was school, but now we don't gotta worry about that.
That is true. Today, the 18th of December marks, well, at least for the majority of university students, I believe, as the final day for their first semester. How was your final days? As in your first semester at UCLA, Jack? Even though you did it all at home.
So overall, it was boring because it's not the same as being in a classroom, you know.
Right.
But I mean, I was still able to learn. I was still able to do well in my classes. The finals were a bit harder, though. I mean, one of my classes, it seemed to me easy, and I was able to do a lot, but, like, I don't know, you know? It's always that, like, how would you say? I guess that insecurity, you know? Like,
yeah.
You think you do good, but at the same time, you always want to worry about, well, did I actually do good, you know?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I did better than I think I did. But, you know, I completed all of them within the time needed, you know?
Right.
And overall, it was very difficult, especially on my end, because, you know, I was just doing GEs for the most part, so it's like, it was very boring.
Right.
Because, like, I wasn't learning things that I had actual interest in. I mean, the art class that I was taking, that was actually interesting.
How was your art class? Like, did you have to, like, submit photos and stuff like that?
I only, like, once, and that was, like, the first assignment. But
Right.
the rest, it was, like, all about writing about, like, the different topics we learned. Because it was about museums, you know? And, like, I learned a lot of things that, like, I never, like, would have thought about, like, museums. Like, LACMA is currently rebuilding their museum.
Oh,
And they're making it so that I think, like, everything's going to be on, like, one floor. And, like, the reasoning for it was because they didn't want it to seem like anyone was on a higher level than another, you know? Like, they wanted to emphasize the whole idea that everyone is equal.
Right.
And so, like, that was really interesting to learn about. Because, like, it made me realize that there's a lot that goes in to museums. Like, and, like, the main thing that was emphasized was, like, the way museums present themselves can affect, you know, how they're looked at. And also, like, how they're able to get an audience's attention, you know?
Yeah.
So that one was the most interesting of the three classes I took. What about you, man?
For me, finals were a bit difficult. In terms that, how do you call it? Like for the exams, the questions were really, like, completely different as to what was presented in the homeworks and, like, the practice exams. Especially my calculus exam that I took just today. How do you call it? There was, like, some problems I just simply blanked out on because I don't recall them being on practice exams, but I mean, I still managed to answer at least some of them. I mean, it took me like 2 hours and 30 minutes to finish it all, but I mean, I got through it. And yeah, that was that. For my astronomy, I mean, I had to take my exam like the minute I got back from home after work, which was like at 10 p.m. So, like, I mean, that was a bit of a stress, but I mean, I managed to pull through again. It took me like around an hour. And just like you, Jack, I feel like I didn't do good. I mean, the grades have yet to come in, and if they have come out, I haven't been able to see them yet. Um, I've also had my little data science computer class thingy, and as well as my introduction to human nutrition, which were also the same basis. And I wasn't able to answer every question like proficiently because there was just some questions that I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I still managed to go through all the way. But
Mm.
yeah, this finals week was pretty interesting in terms of like the student, how do you call it, the student feel. As you know that UC Berkeley has a subreddit. There's like a bunch of students like expressing their emotions about how, you know, they're having a finals week during a pandemic and
Mm.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think it's difficult because I mean, sure, the vaccine's coming out, but like you know, it's everything's not gonna go to normal once the vaccine comes out. You know, so we're expected essentially to go our first year and who knows, maybe halfway through our second year of college, still in a pandemic. You know, still virtually. You know,
right,
and I feel bad because I've heard like a lot of other like places around the world are thinking of sticking with online schooling, and it's like I don't think that's a good idea, seeing as how badly executed it's been throughout this pandemic.
true.
But who knows? Uh, how you been, man?
I've been pretty good so far. Um, Work's been great. I think uh, we're getting. I mean, next week, literally next week is like from today is Christmas, so I want to see if I could buy my parents some presents for the first time.
Mm.
I've never done it before, but like now that I've saved up a bit of money, I could potentially buy them some really good gifts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm just not sure what to buy them. Like I also wanted to like. I mean, I understand there's the value of like the meaning of the gift that's more than the actual worth, like
Then the
in terms of cost.
monetary value.
Yeah, and like how do I say this? Like, I mean, if you buy someone an iPhone like that, for like Christmas, it's crazy because like it's high value, but is it also like high worth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to buy my parents just clothing. They worked an entire year just. I mean, obviously, I want to buy them a bunch of more things if I could, but I don't know. What do you think?
I typically go the more meaningful route. You know,
Mm, Yeah,
like obviously when I'm doing it, I do have to like keep a budget in mind, just because it's all dependent on what money I actually have.
yeah,
You know, like this year, I didn't have that much money compared to last year when I bought gifts for my family
right,
and my friends. But
right,
you know, I do have, like my dad was telling me, you do also have the money in the bank. But the thing is, it is a refund, from the financial aid, the leftover money.
yeah,
So it's up to me to use it. But at the same time, I kind of set the boundary because I'm having that just in case, there comes a time where I need to use that money. Like if there's
right,
ever any extra cost from financial aid. So like
right,
this year it was difficult, but like I found, I found more meaningful gifts, and like I've always been the person to look more in like the personal value rather than the monetary value.
right,
And like obviously, you're not gonna find certain things that you think would be valuable to a person for cheap, Which is why I say,
right,
I also gotta keep the money in mind in the budget.
right.
But like I've been able to find like really good gifts for my family and friends at a cheap price. And I've already thought of what I'm getting my mom and dad. I can't reveal it though because my dad listens to these podcasts.
Right.
You wanna know how cool my dad is, Dom?
How cool is your pops?
As soon as we upload these episodes, he immediately
Huh.
listens to them on the Apple Podcasts, and then listens
Oh,
to it again on YouTube.
that's pretty rad.
Big supporter of the podcast. Ah,
Oh man.
so ain't oh that you know what? That was another difficult thing that made finals difficult. Was I was working on finals, right?
Right.
But then the Game Awards went live, and I was like, hold up, hold up. I had been working since the morning, so I was like, let me give myself a little break because I just wanted to see when the Smash Bros. Character was going to get revealed. And I lucked out. They revealed it at the beginning. And I immediately went to go see it with my dad because I had saw that it had happened in the beginning and I wasn't tuned in. So I was like, oh, damn. I already knew who it was, but I didn't know what the trailer looked like. But
Right.
since I knew my dad knew the character, I like took my laptop over to the kitchen where he was working. I'm like, just sit down and watch this. And man, it was insane to see that Sephiroth was getting added to Smash Bros.
Oh yeah, I've seen the trailer as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already got him. I got him today. Literally, I got him right before we started recording.
Oh,
I went and bought the singular fighter pack that he comes in and unlocked him.
right.
So I don't have to wait till the 22nd.
That's pretty pog, man.
Now, Dom, you don't play Smash Bros, but if you could see one character added into the game, who would you want to see?
Is Pac-Man already in there?
Yes, he is.
Oh, Pac-Man. Oh yeah. Who else would I see into the Smash? I feel like is Sonic the Hedgehog in there as well?
Yep.
Oh man.
Do you want to hear the full roster?
No, wait. I feel like wait. Let me think of a unique character. Honestly, I do not know. I feel like they included a bunch of characters from different games.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible to like think of one unique character that, or like at least a main character from a game that has not been introduced.
Yeah.
Huh.
And don't forget, there a lot of games aren't rolled out, especially with this game. You know, when they did the first fighter pass, and so many characters were from third-party companies. You know,
Yeah.
because like I don't think anyone expected Joker from Persona 5 to be added in. For the longest, people wanted Banjo in, and he got in.
And Sans from Undertale made it in as well, no?
Oh yeah, as the Mii costume, they added him as a Mii costume, but he's technically still in.
Yeah.
Cursed image.
Oh man.
I have actually wanted 3 characters in the game.
Who are your picks?
So the first one, despite never playing the game that he was in, I've always wanted a Bandana Waddle Dee in it from the Kirby series.
Oh,
I've wanted Kubbi from Nier in the game, but seeing as how Sephiroth just got in, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that because she's Square Enix, you know.
Right.
And we just got a Square Enix rep, the third, because they added the Dragon Quest character and Cloud, and like I've mentioned to Dom before, Square Enix and Nintendo don't really like to work together that much. Which is why Cloud and then the Hero and then Sephiroth being added were all surprises because they're all Square Enix reps.
Right.
So I doubt 2B would get in, at least not anytime soon. I'd hope it'd be down the line. And then the one unique pick, as you were thinking of trying to think of a unique character, I did not think of this character until